Hey there, I'm Laura Newell, and I just finished in the month of June the Minimalist Game Week 4. Week 4 was definitely a challenge. It was day 22 to 30, and it's that last chunk to get out a total of 465 items in 30 days. Certainly not an easy task for anybody. And I was still focusing on my ideal self and just going through storage areas in our house and our hobby areas. And I got tons of recycled boxes and just supplies and hobby supplies and things, more keepsakes, more scrapbooking, things that were broken, things that I don't use, and things that I'm never going to use. I just know I'm never going to use them, and so I let them go. Now, while 465 items is a large number, I decided that wasn't enough, and so I decided to round it up and make a goal to get rid of 500 things. And so that meant I needed to find an extra 35 things, and I actually just did that by setting aside a couple large items and different things throughout the month and then not counting those in the days. So I was able to get rid of over 500 things in the month of June, which is, it's crazy, it blows my mind. But it was also interesting because after I finished, my husband suddenly decided that he wanted to clean out his bookshelf and his like box of cords. He's like an IT guy. And so he decluttered a whole bunch of stuff, and I didn't count any of his stuff, but I'm sure there was an extra, like, I don't know, 30 plus items that he decluttered as well. So that was really cool. So here are the pictures of what I got rid of. Day 22, I decided to recycle a whole lot of boxes from our storage area. I also had some other class supplies, empty containers, old mailing envelopes, just things that needed to go. Day 23, I continued going through old boxes to recycle, in addition to another box of class supplies. And so there were some little containers I'd never used, never even opened them, these plastic flowers and old papers and just stuff that I was not using. Day 24, I was going through some more things in my storage, mailing envelopes that have been sitting around for years that I'll never use, other little envelopes, greeting cards, things like that, an extra clipboard and notebook, some little stuffed animals, baby toys from my childhood, a bunch of music. I'm not going to play the piano, and so I'm going to get rid of that. Day 25, some more books from my bookshelf. I went through my kind of photo boxes and pulled out all of the extra envelopes. There was a scrapbook there that I just am never going to use, some extra tissue paper, an extra photo box, 2 extra photo boxes, and some gift bags that I don't really care for. Day 26, more books, more office supplies, lots of paper, going through my files and just stacks and stacks of paper, envelopes. Oh my goodness, just all the little things that add up that we just don't use. Day 27, more craft supplies. I went through my boxes again, and oh my goodness, sewing things, extra craft things, and my childhood duffel bag that is broken. It doesn't have a zipper, and so I finally decided it can go. Day 28, more scrapbook paper, more craft paper, yarn. I emptied all of those little bottles. They had glitter sand and colorful sand. I decided to do an art project with my daughter and let her a little sensory bin so she could play with sand and shells, and she loved it. And all the sand is gone. Also, there is fabric and stuffing and felt and embroidery hoops and buttons and things I don't need anymore. Day 29, an extra bag I'm going to give away, and old paper dolls that are broken, just lots of extra papers and things, fabric, containers, random old supplies. And day 30, a bunch of childhood drawing and creativity are under there, but I took a picture and said the actual things can go. I kept the best one and then the rest of them let go. Plays I was in as a teenager, some extra books, some cookbooks I won't use, and some expired Epsom salts and more little hobby supplies and containers that are missing their lids. Now, in order to get 500 things, I had to have some extra things. So I found 19 scraps of fabric I will never use. My electric keyboard, which I had great intentions for, but just never used. So I did go ahead and sell that. Some pull-ups that my daughter outgrew. She's fully potty trained, so we got to get rid of those. A bridesmaid dress that doesn't fit me anymore. A outside toy that my daughter's outgrown. Our old shoe bin that we had to destroy because it was literally falling apart. My Veronica Mars DVDs and movie, which I loved in college, but I just don't think I'm in a place that I will ever watch those again. And 3 pairs of shoes. I wrote a whole post about decluttering my shoes and the lessons that it taught me. Some supplies for making my own bubbles that are, I'm not kidding, I think 6 years old and it hasn't been touched in those years, so letting it go. And finally, a broken dustpan. And that is 500 items. Even with 500 things gone, I am not done. I still have my file cabinet, lots of papers, just my office, a whole bunch of areas that still need more work. And that's the interesting thing about decluttering. You're never done. You might get to a point where you're maintenance mode. There are areas of my house that are in maintenance mode, but there are also areas where I am a piler. And there are just piles that I haven't gotten around to deal with yet, and I have to. So that's kind of my focus for the rest of the summer, is just working through these piles, working through these things, creating easy systems so that I can go into maintenance mode, because that would be awesome. But just getting rid of this extra stuff. The majority of the items I just donated them right away, but there were a couple that I did sell for small amounts that were new things, like my musical keyboard, things like that. I'm still kind of in shock that it's over, that we completed an entire month in the Minimalist Game. I love doing it, and it is a lot of work and it's pretty intense, but it's really good when you kind of just want a fresh slate and you just want to like get stuff out as fast as possible. It's definitely worth it to give it a try. So I want to know, are you going to be doing the Minimalist Game? Have you been doing it before? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.